Hi, everybody. Welcome to The New Normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Tuesday, and we've got my buddy Satoshi Sean joining us, and really excited. I found some stuff. I was watching Monkey Works, and he just really casually brought up this trial that's going on and the fact that it's unclassified and that we may all be able to watch it. So I'm going to bring that to your attention. We can talk about that and some other interesting stuff that Uncle Cliff brought up. So I'll be right back with Sean. Give us a like, share this video, and let's jump right into it. I'll be right back. Hey, Sean, how are you? Thanks for joining me today.
I am doing good. Good to be here hanging out. Hey, everybody.
Yes,
Chris,
hi to everybody in the chat.
A lot of people. Hey.
I tried to, I didn't get home in time quick enough to tweet it out. I did get it shared on Patreon. So hopefully we have our loyal crew in there. I forgot to grab, you were so generous and sent these really cool copper coins. So I'm going to be terribly rude and run and get them because I had them out in the kitchen. I was showing my husband because they're beautiful. So rose gold is like one of my favorite things, and they look very rose gold.
Me too. That investment grade copper, just like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and they also have the Second Amendment on some of the coins. So will you tell people about them? I'm going to run and get them so I can show them to everybody. I'll be right back.
Well, I got a lot of different stuff because I'm going to give away for Christmas too, but I'm giving away on my channel. I think I sent some bars that are they're like I think $1 or $5 or $100. I got $100 here. There's also the Second Amendment, which it's got a coin, has a colonial soldier on the front, and the back has the Second Amendment printed out. And then the other one says "Don't tread on me." So we're going to be giving them away, and you can pick which one you want.
These are so cool. So yeah, you sent me. We have some bars, and they have a $1. They look like a $1 on one side. And then, what does the other side do say?
I got some $100 ones too, and I think there's $10 ones, or $5.
I don't know.
Yeah, I like those.
So
that's probably what we'll be using whenever the crash comes too, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing is that the way that they're printed, people can really recognize or identify, what they are. These came from Money Metals Exchange, which I need to hit them up for a sponsorship.
Yeah, you can get your you can buy there, as a matter of fact, and use my code as Sean, just SEAN.
Oh, okay.
And you get a free half-ounce silver coin. I think it's a Paul Revere silver coin that we're giving away now.
And then, so how should we do this giveaway? How am I going to do this giveaway for my channel? Because you sent me a bunch of these, and they're so cool.
Yeah, that's the Second Amendment on the back. Right? That one's, I like that one.
Yes, and then this has the Second Amendment on the back, which I love that. They're beautiful coins, and they're copper. And Bix had done a show the other day and was talking about there being a copper shortage. And a failure to deliver, I believe. I'll have to go back and rewatch that episode. But you sent me quite a few.
Yeah, and I've been buying copper for a while because it's like you said, there is a shortage. I think it's going to be. I think it's actually going to have some more value, later on. But I've been giving them to my grandkids and my kids, and just to try to get people more interested in precious metals. You know what I mean? Plus, they look cool.
This one says TP on the top. Is this a toilet paper coin?
Yeah, that's a toilet paper coin. That's the "Don't Tread on Me," I believe.
Oh, the "Don't Tread on Me." Okay, because this says 2A. This one says TP. I haven't got this one open yet. And then this one is the $1 bar.
TP. Yeah, now open it. Make sure it's the don't. But TP.
It says TP on it.
The python, because of the snake.
I'll have to get my knife.
Did you just peel off?
No, they have tape on it. I got the other two opened.
You have nails, don't you?
Not that long. Or that strong. No, I'll have to go get a knife. Wait, I have a pen. Maybe I can get this.
I'm also going to send you some fridge magnets. These are my old ones. Ugh. But these are really old.
Satoshi Shawn magnets.
Really cool. Yeah, they're like got the American flag on it and everything. I used to go every night. Because my buddy lives on the next street. We grew up, as we're kids.
Snake. It's the Don't Tread on Me. And it has
TP.
Let's see, a Money Metals Exchange and their logo on the back.
Yeah, and like I said, you can go to Money Metals, and just at the end put in the promo code Sean SEAN, and you get a free silver. But every night I would go and just put my magnets all over his truck every day. When I first got it,
that's terrible.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks.
So go to moneymetalsexchange.com and use the code Sean SEAN, and you get a free silver ounce.
Yeah, free half-ounce silver.
Half-ounce.
Yeah, it's a coin. It's a Paul Revere coin, I think, that they're doing now.
That's really cool. That goes hand in hand with, so we're doing this lantern run on talking about the Paul Revere ride. I can't get that closed now, but I think I sent you the video for this. The same group, that Patriot Party Rocks, that I helped in for the 4th of July in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to be doing this lantern run for, we're taking like this document that's going to be, they're calling it like a second Declaration of Independence, and we're doing like a chain of custody, and it's going to be put in the Library of Congress, and each person is responsible for a leg of it. And let me see. Let me look at my downloads. I can pull it up.
Something I miss about growing up in the North is the history of the United States. All that colonial stuff and everywhere. Washington.
You were a military brat, so you were like surrounded by a lot of that, I would think.
No, I wasn't. I was.
You weren't.
Nope, I was not a military brat. I was single. I was born and raised up north. My mom was a.
I thought your mom was in the military.
No, she was an academic. She was
I misunderstood.
Government contract. She was hired. This is government service, or GS. But she ran all of the churches for all of Europe for the military. She was like in charge of. She was the religious coordinator.
But it was for the military.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was contracted.
No,
through the government for the military.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. That's why one of the reasons why she got fired, because she had her colonel got changed. Which I don't know if you remember. I told you, but
yeah, that's why I was so confused by all that.
No, she made more money than the colonel. She was the GS-13, which I think was like the top. And he said he fired her because she was a woman. He's like, this job is too important for a woman. You're fired, or they wouldn't renew her contract. So.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, then she met my stepdad, and it was in the military. So then, but I was like 13 or 14 when, I became a military brat. So, well, I was a brat before. I was always a brat. But
you were never a brat.
When I had an excuse, it was my military brat. That was later on.
I'm not buying that.
That's why we came to Texas, which we were horrified to come here. We thought it was just tumbleweeds, and we literally thought that.
I can't imagine. Oh, because you were East Coast.
Yeah, we like I was at my girlfriend's house. It was just me and her, and I was like 16, and she came out of her room, and she was holding her hand, and I said, "What happened?" And she said, "Oh, I was putting something in my closet, and I got bit by a scorpion," and I freaked out. I was like, "We gotta call the ambulance! Oh my God, you're gonna die!" She was like, no. I was like, yeah, you're going to die.
Not a big deal. Yeah.
I thought tarantulas. I thought they killed you. We thought everything was
Everything
dead.
kills you. Yes.
I called my mom from her house because she lived in the next town. And I was like, Dawn, you got bit by a scorpion. My mom's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry she's going to die. No, she said it's not a big deal. She said, because she's delirious, because she's going to die.
That's hilarious. Well, I remember, like, being in Oklahoma and, meeting people and they're like, oh, do you guys, live in teepees and everybody rides their horse to school? And it's like, no.
Yeah,
No,
does everybody own an oil well in Texas?
Yes, yeah.
Which was funny because I bought an oil well when I was like 19. But,
oh, wow. Weren't you quite
one
the
of my
baller?
first investments I ever got into. Never made any money, but
bad time.
But yeah, we came here. It was like we built our house when we got here, and me and my mom were both like, we thought there were so many things that would kill us, like it was Australia and the bush, and like she called all of the the pesticide people, and it's like, can you come every day? Is there any way we could put up some electric fence, from all of the things that'll kill us? And they're like, what? It's like, yeah,
And you are in like hill country though, right? I mean, you're not really in like town, right?
No, we're in town. Well, we were the last
you
street when we got here, but now there's like 100 streets after that because it's exploded so much. But
wow,
yeah, still we had it so, we thought, forget about snakes. Just mention snakes, and we would have passed out.
Lost your mind.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you on the snake thing. I don't like snakes. Yeah. Too crazy. So I've been sending you a bunch of links and freaking out. I don't even know. I'm not sure which one to go for.
Weird, interesting stuff. Definitely.
Lots of exciting stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to hit the Uncle Cliff one first or the Monkey Works one first?
Uncle Cliff thing first.
Do Uncle Cliff first. Okay. I thought this was very interesting. Of course, my favorite human in the world.
And yes, Tom, please, everyone, smash the like button.
Yes, thank you. Whoops. And I love his comment. Warning, raging conspiracy talk here. This was really clever. Once again, Trump's always, thinking 3, 5, 10 steps ahead. Okay, so he's talking about this devolution, which Uncle Cliff's been using that word and talking about this for a while. But he says, so this article says the nuclear age.
Evolution or de-evolution?
Devolution.
Okay.
Or that's my understanding. It's not de-evolution, it's devolution. It's like
trying to spell de-evolution is very difficult. So
yeah, it's not de-evolution because that would have like 2 E's. It's devolution, which is more about like destruction of, is my understanding. Or the taking apart, devolution.
It could be evolution just said with a Southern accent. There's de-evolution.
Maybe. So it says the nuclear age and Cold War against socialism brought down a greater need to protect the continuity of government from entities of the republic, foreign and domestic. The greatest threat to America for the last 100 years has been the threat of socialism. And then what if America had to fight socialism on its own soil and required from within by a fraudulent, what? I probably need to be careful in my words, but in every subdued country, freedom died, and as many of its citizens, military takes a solemn oath, blah, blah, to preserve the Constitution from enemies, foreign, domestic. Okay, where was it in this article that it talked about what he did? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, hold on, I'll try to.
I thought that this was really kind of hitting me because it puts things.
Okay, here it is.
Into perspective, where you kind of get like punched in the face when you realize what's happening and where we are. And how this talked about like other countries, how they fell into socialism and communism was by, when you really come down to it, it was by one big stolen election or compromised election, and that's how they took power. I thought that was really interesting, but then the biggest thing I thought of was how decades ago this was seen as, and further back than that, this was seen as like the greatest threat to the republic, and that they actually took these steps because this is the greatest threat. This isn't like someone attacking us on our soil. This is the way they thought that the republic could fall. So that's why Eisenhower and other people put these safeguards into effect, which I'm very anti-government, hate the government and all that. So to be a fan of COG is really weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was really, really smart and brilliant and all that. But it's just really hit me to where something like that was talked about back then is now coming into play. And before we get into it, I don't want to get too religious or anything, but just looking around at like pop culture now, and I don't know if y'all have seen like Megan Fox or the Kardashians. Everyone's into this like blood sex ritual stuff, which is, I mean, I remember being a kid in church and people used to talk about like this is what they do. It's like, people don't do that. That's what your rock stars do. Like, they don't do that. There's no weird blood sex magic, and it's completely on their Instagrams now. They're covering themselves in each other's blood, talking about weird blood rituals, and it's just
trying to normalize it with facials and all kinds of stuff. They've been talking about that for years.
That blows my mind. Like this, the fact that we're here, and this is something that is necessary.
Well, and I will tell you that there are rumors that their party drug, the largest factory of that is this same place that I'm circling here, where the great infection supposedly is.
The wet market is from.
Yeah, their party drug is also manufactured there.
Are you talking about like pickup truck chrome?
Yes.
Wow.
And there's rumors in the Patriot world that party drug was infiltrated or affected. And anyway, there's stories about all that. You guys can check into all that. And that's why some of them are passing away from this stuff. So, but anyway, back to the COG. I thought this was really interesting, and they talk about this whole devolution, continuity of government, and you guys can read more about this. I put the link in the chat, and you can go follow Uncle Cliff on Twitter and find the link to this as well. But it does say there exists some evidence that Mr. T implemented COG before leaving the White House and allowed who to play house and show America how entrenched and how tyrannical deep state rule would be. Otherwise, half of America would never believe how deceived they had been. There's nothing that the B admin has touched that has not been a disaster. Insane national debt, unrestrained invasion of our southern border, shutdowns, mandatory masking, the V's, escalating gas, food, uncontrolled inflation, its defiance of the Bill of Rights, Afghanistan fiasco, etc. And I know media is not covering it, but like yesterday or over the weekend, there were these amazing rallies of like New York police, fire, all this, like walking across the bridge, standing up for, people wanting to invade our bodies with chemicals. So that is like, people are standing up, even in places that are, traditionally pretty liberal and very unionized. Even in those unionized jobs, they're pushing back and saying, we want freedom and sovereignty of our bodies, So that's pretty exciting.
Did you see that thing that Ben posted about the union guy? And
I've been at school all day.
It was a few days ago.
That's an old one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was an old one. Just to see him in his face like that. And
Yeah, that happened a long time ago.
I know that there was a second one. I thought this wasn't the first guy who said you work for me. This was a conversation about the Second Amendment, and this guy was, 6 inches.
Oh yeah, I think I
swear.
shared that first, and then Ben shared mine.
Did you see Brandon?
They were arguing about
Did you see him go to
the
choke him?
guns or whatever, right?
Yeah, and Brandon went to choke him for a second. That no one mentioned that, but that freaked me out. He like went in for his throat he was like, and then he was in his face, and the guy's like, "Why are you putting your hand in my face like that? That's not okay." But that was very weird.
It's very weird. Very, very, very weird.
JDO, you have if you get really hyped up, there's a lot of adrenaline, and then if you have to, like a truck, it's usually a lot of chrome on it, and if you put those two things together, that would be what the drug is.
Yeah, they call it the party drug. Or what's that movie that Johnny Depp's in? They did a movie about it.
Yeah, Where the Buffalo Roam.
Oh.
No, is it?
It was like something about
Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, Hunter S. Thompson in
I thought it was like Leaving Las Vegas or something like that.
No, Leaving Las Vegas is the depressing one where Nicolas Cage
kills himself. That's the alcoholic one or something. No, yeah. I thought it was some Hollywood or
Yeah, it was about Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's Bad Country. Yeah.
Well, I didn't, so I don't know. And I'm a terrible movie watcher, so you guys would know.
I'm going to send you the picture.
Oh, here we go. John says, "Is that it? Live and Die in Las Vegas?" No,
it's Where the Buffalo. Oh, Where the Buffalo Roam was, I think, the first one. No, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's what it is.
That's the one with Johnny Depp and the party
Johnny Depp,
drug. Okay. Anyway, so this devolution and this goes more in line with what I do believe happened, and I think this goes in line with what people learning about the Constitution, and that our Constitution, the military takes a solemn oath to preserve the Constitution from enemies, foreign and domestic. Freedom from excessive government, protected by the Constitution, is the first fatality of socialist governments in this country. The military's first responsibility is to protect the Constitution and the republic created by it, not the immediate president or federal government. So our republic, protected by the Constitution, and socialism are polar opposites. Socialism accepts nothing that limits its power. So anyway, I thought this was really interesting. I think you guys, if you get a minute, should read it, but I think it really talks about some things that Mr. T did that definitely shows how this is being exposed.
Also, why Brandon can't change anything without declaring the emergency over.
The emergency over. Yeah. That was the part that I was trying. Okay, where does it say that? Because as long as the emergency is going, then where does it say that? Because that was my point.
JDO, because it's a definite keyword that the algorithm looks for, and the video will get taken down or hit, or at least Lisa's channel will be watched much more for anything that they can, strike it for. It's an old one that they all look for now. Also, I sent you that picture, Lisa, of me as Hunter S. Thompson.
You sent me a picture in the private chat, or
no, on your on Twitter.
Ah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Okay, let me see if I can share this. Wait, I'll put it on the other page. Why can't I make that full?
Yeah, there it is.
There you are, looking so dapper. Very nice. So that's the movie I'm thinking of.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very low in Las Vegas.
Check that out. Yeah. So once again, just to reiterate that the point that I brought that article up was that for part of the reason that, will you go back over that for everybody? That
Yeah,
for them to be able to, they would have to shut down the emergency.
Any executive order that a president makes during a crisis or an emergency or a national emergency cannot be outdone by anyone
Undone, yeah.
or undone by anyone as long as the emergency is in effect.
So if you think back to all of the EOs that Mr. T wrote, including,
and I remember you saying
the
you
one
saying something about it, just like there's a reason why it has to be done now, and it has to be put as part of. Because I remember they didn't want to make it as the reason for the order as part of, and now it makes sense. But at the time, it was weird. They didn't want to have these executive orders put forth as specifically for the emergencies, and the White House really wanted to make sure that they were that it was clear that it was part of the emergency, the national emergency. It was for the national emergency. It just wasn't an executive order for just to make an executive order,
just to be the executive order.
And it was really. I remember you saying it. Like, there's a reason. I know there's a reason why they're doing this,
but I didn't know why.
And
now we know why.
And now we know why it was so important.
So if you think about some of the executive orders that Mr. T made, one of them was that in the case of counting people's choices, if there was interference in counting people's choices, then if any other country was involved in that, then our country would not trade with them. And so if you look at what's parked out in the big blue parking lot right now, that's a representation of countries that might be involved in what words am I trying to use? That might be involved in meddling in counting people's choices. Are you guys following me?
Yeah, I'm talking about this with Rice. It's really confusing sometimes to
have to dance around all those words. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, we have a really smart community.
Yeah.
That's following along. But that was one of the big EOs that Mr. T wrote. And now that we have this article that Uncle Cliff shared, it makes so much sense. So they would have to say that the big C, that the great infection is over, to get rid of all those EOs that Mr. T wrote. So they're stuck with all those EOs that Mr. T wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're playing out, and we're seeing examples of they're stuck with his rules, and they're still having to play the game. Or they have to admit that the great infection is over.
Which would...
And then they lose their power to make more rules that they're not even really making. They're making, press releases, press announcements, but they're not even signing anything. So,
well, that's the thing. They're making, mandates, and they're making rules, and they're making policies.
But they're not even making mandates. He's not even signing anything.
Well, but they're not making laws.
The latest one was just a press release.
If you make a law that excludes anyone, that goes against like the first part, Congress. It's the first thing in the Constitution that Congress will pass no laws that they don't have to follow. There's no laws are exempt from, so they're not going to make a law. That's when the CDC said, "Oh, we're going to extend the rent thing," and like, who the hell are you? That's like the Department of Agriculture saying it's just. It's even not even at least the Department of Agriculture is an actual government entity.
Right. The CDC does not make laws.
Yes, they can't even make a policy. Yeah. They can't.
Right.
They're like a civilian company that's contracted. They have a connection with the government, like BlackRock and so many other things, but they're they're part of the shadow government, I guess you could say. But they're not a legal government entity, so they can't even do what they're trying to do. Their overreach is so ridiculous, and it was struck down immediately. But it still did the damage, and I think that's what the lack of punishment. I think that the bad guys have figured out that they can get a lot done by apologizing later instead of asking for permission or just trying to go through the proper way. Because if they did, let's say they push the mandate. Already there's been tons of people. I have friends that got more shots so that they could keep their job or so that they could go to the bar. And if that lasts for a month, 3 months, and then the Supreme Court says, oh, that's illegal, it's unconstitutional. Okay, but for 3 months,
then they've already had thousands of people. Yeah,
millions. A lot of the people that have put it off, that a lot of nurses or other people, even if they fought it for like 2 months, and then they ran out of savings, they couldn't make it. They had to go and get their job back, and they take it. If it takes 3 months to go through the system, they've really won. They've really gotten what they wanted to get done. So if there's no punishment, no one's fired. If nobody, is forced to resign, if there's even that's little. That's not even anything bad. But if you make something that's unconstitutional and you force it on the people, and it's unconstitutional, you should be in trouble for that.
You should, there should be consequences, and that's what I think it's really.
Says that's ridiculous, that's unconstitutional. Anyone who forced it on people should be like, you made a really bad decision. You shouldn't work here anymore, in the least.
Yeah, no, it's. I think a lot of people are tired of the bad guys not having consequences. Even when they say, well, you shouldn't have done that. Whether it was J.P. Morgan manipulating prices of silver, whatever, they get a slap on the hand. Doesn't matter. They get a couple $1 million slap on the hand. They made billions. They don't care.
Well, and that's another point. That's just good business. I've been saying that for years and years.
Pay to play kind of stuff.
What you would call Bank of America. I think it was Bank of America.
They all follow me on Twitter, so
they went as far as to
say their name.
They went as far as to make special bags and like boxes and things like that for the cartel to smuggle money over so they could launder it. I mean, they went that far, and they got caught, and they got fined, like $10 million. But they made, like,
I'm sure they put that into their cost of doing business. That was probably part of their business plan.
Good business. Yeah. If no one's going to jail, there's nothing that really bad is going to happen. You're going to make $1 billion, but you have to pay $100 million. That's $900 million in profit. That's good for your business. That's good for the economy. That's good for your employees. Everybody gets a bigger Christmas bonus, and that's why would you not do that?
Meanwhile, they want to look at everybody's bank account and put grandma in jail for 20 years. It's ridiculous, just insane.
It is. Facebook did all that stuff with Cambridge Analytica, and they got the biggest fine in the history of fines. But with the wealth distribution as it is now, they were fined the biggest fine in history, and it was 1 month of what they make. That's like committing multiple murders, but getting fined $3,000 if you're a teacher. It's a month's worth of your income. You know what I mean? So that's one thing about Europe. The way they have their that's really scary to businesses. The way they have their privacy thing is it's by your company. It's a percentage. So if a small mom and pop screws up on the privacy thing, they get fined a percentage of what they make. But if Microsoft, if they screw up, it could be hundreds of millions. And when I was working for Microsoft, when all that stuff first got enacted, they were like, we dropped a lot of European customers I mean, things got really serious because they could lose real money, real money to them, not just real money to,
Right.
regular.
Right.
Um,
It just
so I think that's
it
how it
just
should be.
seems really upside down and unfair.
Mm,
There is another really strange. So I told you I sent you this, that I was watching Monkey Works, and he was just
yeah.
so casual about this. Um, and he's like, yeah, and these planes, and he's like, oh wait, let me look at these dates. He's like, yeah, and that's about when let me see here. And another Uncle Cliff, he's talking about this what's, you guys in the chat won't have the right verbiage that Uncle Cliff uses, but he talks about that the language is lifting to the 24th through the 28th, and then it pops off. And on the 28th, there is this trial of 5 alleged Al Qaeda members for aiding the September 11th, 2001 attacks. This is the United States versus Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. This will be held. Let's see. The charges were announced by Brigadier General. Okay, so here's Monkey Works showing this, and then it runs through. And you guys that are on my Patreon know the other date. It runs through. Let's see. Where's my other picture? November 19th. This trial runs through from October 28th through, yes, release of stress. Thank you, Big Mike Patriot. Through November 19th. And that just gives me chills. Okay, so this, then let me stop sharing this screen. I'll give you guys another screen which has more information about what this trial is. And I can't believe this is just now happening. This is also not a classified trial. So we're going to be able to watch this, see this. And I don't know if this is some of that magic 17th letter. People are going to be educated on what really happened. Will these guys have consequences? Are we going to find out what really happened on these days? But 5 alleged Al Qaeda members for aiding the September 11th, 2001 attacks. Charges were announced by Brigadier General Thomas Hartman on February 11th at a press conference at the Pentagon. The men charged were blah, all those. Then it talks about the trial in a military commission. The trial was first presided over, blah, 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 goes on and on. The U.S. Department of Defense has built a $12 million expeditionary legal complex in Guantanamo with a courtroom designed to protect classified information, capable of trying the alleged co-conspirators before one judge and jury. Only members of the defense team of each 5 defendants, prosecution team, court staff, and jury member may enter the courtroom itself. The media and other observers may watch the unclassified proceedings only, sequestered in a room behind thick glass located at the back of the large court facility. The sound from the courtroom and the spectator gallery is delayed at 40 seconds to allow the judge or court security officer to cut the sound feed when necessary. So this is going to be an unclassified hearing. Anyway, it goes on and says, and like I said, it's going to run through November 19th, which a lot of us know that that's a big date that is expected to be a big deal. So I wondered what your thoughts were on this.
Like you said, I was shocked that they're still around. I mean, and like I told you, 20 years.
Yeah, so they've been just chilling at the spa for 20 years.
And there's people who are wrongfully accused of murder that go through the system in like 4 years, 5 years, I mean, like with their appeals, everything, but they're done. So the fact that they're still around, like I told you, it makes me think that they have something, or someone has something on someone or some agency that has just kept this going. as long as could possibly go. They got, as soon as they were locked up, they came out and said that they were tortured. That was all, really, really public. So I'm sure they're interviewed constantly, like I told you, by like the Red Cross. There's nothing that's being done to these guys that's not on the up and up for the past you know 17 years or so. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what can come out of it, and the stuff that does. I think it'll just anger the people like us,
I mean,
and
the
everyone
history
else
of
is
this is
just
bizarre. Yeah, I mean, if you go through the history of it, they're talking about in December of 2008, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was delayed until mental competency
yeah. They
hearings
they
could be
they.
held
That's
for
another
all
thing.
of them.
All of these people came and they pled guilty. They pled
Yeah, they
guilty,
wanted to, but
and
then they delayed it
they
for all of
delayed it.
them. hmm
So
And then Eric Holder got involved in 2009. And it says that, let's see, that he wanted them all transferred. Let's see. Um, this is when then they wanted it transferred to a civilian court. Um, let's see. He also expressed confidence that an impartial jury would be found. I don't know. It just, the whole thing is in a letter to President Obama. Feinstein suggested that holding a trial in New York was dangerous, high priority target, blah, 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 2010. I mean, the whole thing is just so sketchy. And then transferred back to the military.
it's also that it's a military trial. It's not
Right. And
not
but it's
not
going
a,
to be unclassified as a military trial.
yeah, but these people aren't being tried in the United States court. First, they're being tried in Cuba, which is weird.
Right.
Um,
But on a
but
military base, a U.S.
yeah, but
military
they're
base.
not the military. That's for military people. Um,
Right.
so it does. It's weird. It just doesn't make sense, and it's a little scary because that means if you were arrested for a crime, then they could try you in a military court too. I mean,
Hmm.
how are they legally being allowed to be tried in the military court without being in the military? That doesn't if they committed a crime in the United States against the United States, against the United States laws, not military laws, against the United States laws, they need to be tried, convicted, and punished in the United States justice system. The military justice system is completely different. It's set up different. It has completely different laws. It has completely different rules. It's for the military. So I don't understand how it's being done. I don't like that it's being done this way. I don't like the precedent that it sets. Um,
This is weird. So Gina Haspel, oh, wait a minute. On January 2019, Carl Rosen, Miami Herald reported that a partially redacted transcript from a pretrial hearing seemed to indicate that Gina Haspel had been chief of base of a clandestine CIA detention site at, well, that's not really, okay. Role, resignation of Major Jason Wright, military counsel, blah, blah, blah. He had access to Mohammed's 3 years of interrogation while in CIA custody, waterboarding, other forms of torture. I don't know. It's not giving a lot of information on this. I just think it's really interesting that it's going to be an unclassified. I think this is going to be getting some information out to the public. I think the timing of it is incredible. So,
I just wonder what's going to come of it. I just always, I mean, ever since I was a kid, And then they finally admitted Area 51 was real, and nothing happened. And like that was the thing growing up. You know what I mean? When I was a little kid, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It does exist. It does. The government's lying to you. No, it doesn't exist. And then it exists, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we knew it, you bastards." And
But
like,
what? But nothing.
yeah,
Well, and even recently they came out and said, yes, there are flying objects, but they called them um, like UPAs or
yeah,
um, I can't remember what the term was. They called them something else. They called them, but
yeah.
they once again said, yeah,
And
there's,
it's coming to the point where well, it'll be like, yeah, they're aliens. Yeah, we always knew it, and it's going to be
and
just
it's
like
like,
Area
well, we
51.
told you that. We didn't lie to you.
Yeah,
We told you that.
and no one's talking about the triangle shaped UFOs, spaceships. Did you see anything on those?
Are you
Giant.
talking about the military ones or the like
Talking about like
non-military? They don't know
two
what
weeks
they
ago.
are.
No, like 2 weeks ago, giant triangle spaceships flying around, and they're very clear in the sky. They are not. They are like Independence Day. It's very obvious they're flying around spaceships that are triangles. They're flying through
I
the
don't know
clouds,
anything about this.
and
I've been seeing some really weird clouds
it
that I
was
keep
like
taking
little it
pictures
was like
of, but
little news. It was, oh look,
huh.
spaceships. It was very, very surreal that people were like, it was like half reported on.
In every country or
It was it was in a couple countries, but it was in the United States, and there was like really good video documentation,
I
and
haven't seen it
it was
at
like a
all.
B news story.
Well, if
I,
anybody
I,
has a link to that, put it in the chat and I'll pull it up.
yeah, it was weird. That made me think, okay, this is it. This is finally,
But is that just a distraction from whatever the news story is that they don't want you to look at?
I don't know. There's so
You
many
know what I
things
mean?
here, huge news stories that they're all. I don't know what's the distraction because they're like everything is so massive. I
Because
mean, the
that's the
fact that
other thing, like with the whole Baldwin thing.
mhm,
Like, I think he's been bye-bye for a long time. I think they locked him up a long time ago. Um, I think this whole, oh, he was on a movie set. They were shooting a movie called Rust. Oh, come on. What a
he's done.
lame movie
He's
name.
he's done.
He's been done for a long time.
He's
And
because they're okay. I'll ask
there is,
my son about this. My son has he went to school to be a U.S. Marshal, and then he saw where everything was going, and he changed his idea what he wanted to do. But
mm,
I asked him, I said, Alec Baldwin shot a guy and killed him. I said he's the one that pulled the trigger. Should be some legal.
well,
And
here
then I've
was
looked
what
into it,
was
and
on
there
her
is.
Twitter. This is what was on her Twitter.
And now they're saying
And
that's not real. That's been fake.
well, they can say that, but
And I wish I
here's
could
the
see
other
it.
thing that was there. There's something else, and I don't know if I have a picture of it or not,
Yeah,
but
that her next thing was about the pedophile ring in Hollywood.
right.
Also
And there
said
was
now fake.
some,
And I went to the Sun. I looked through all their stuff on it. Couldn't find anything on it. I wish there's just something that I could see when it first comes
there's
out.
also that her husband, what is it about her husband? Her husband is somehow, darn it, what was the thing? Something about her husband was like some kind of threat to
Well, the thing about Baldwin in this is that I watched it, and one, he
the
could be
Hillary
arrested
thing.
for in because of the state they're in. Not manslaughter. It's like accidental manslaughter or something like that because he didn't check the gun. He should have done some kind of due diligence.
Like
But when they
involuntary
didn't,
manslaughter.
involuntary. That's it. Involuntary manslaughter. He could be charged with. But the real people are the production company and the producer and the people that own the film. And guess who? Guess who the one guy is that is all of that? It's Baldwin. He owns a production company. He was the chief producer. He was in charge of everything. So there's nowhere that he's not involved when it comes to being responsible. So that's what I'm saying. He's going to be in trouble in some
Well,
way.
I don't even think he's around. I think this is all a story. I think this is a way that they let American people think he went bye-bye. This is the narrative that he goes away. But he's been a very bad dude for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who's been,
Yeah.
I mean, him and De Niro, Kathy Griffin or whatever, they've been, they were some really seriously dark Hollywood people for a long time. So, anyway, that's just my opinion.
John Sasha said that her husband worked for the law firm that represented the Clintons.
Oh. Her husband worked for, oh, so he knew probably too much.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, crazy stuff. But I was excited to share with you that information because that really did put all that together. That Uncle Cliff found that, like you said, it was like, this is just like icing on the cake, the cog. So just a little wrap up on what we talked about today. That why they can't, if they turn off the great infection to stop, they can't turn off Mr. T's EOs. They can't, they would have to turn off the great infection and then they would lose.
Yeah, they'd have to admit it's over.
Admit
which would
it's
take
over.
away all the power from like California and New York. They would all their massive
and so,
party.
Yeah, but because they can't, those EOs are exposing a lot of, which just gives me hope because I know there's some EOs that are written. I need to go back through and make a list because there's some EOs that are still written that the full power of them hasn't been released yet or launched or seen or shown, I guess, that's still there. That there are some about one of the big meetings that they did was about the missing children and women, especially in the Native American communities and all that. So when that kicks in, that should be a big revelation to a lot of Americans. I hope that exposes a lot. It'll be the Great Awakening. So,
Who's actually in chat too?
Oh, is TPA in the chat?
Yeah, TPA is here.
Sorry, guys. I've been clicking around on screens. I didn't really get to see everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody in the chat and that's joining us. So how are we going to do the giveaways for all this cool copper that you sent?
Well,
because I want to give some away at the meetups.
Okay.
I'll probably the majority of it I'll probably do at the meetups because it's expensive to mail and all that stuff. But
stamps.
2 stamps. Okay. Well, that's not terrible. So I could do like one of each on for each show that we do.
Or so do like two giveaways. Let everybody let them pick which one they want. Okay. Yeah, Hodl Crypto. Hodl Crypto is right about that. There's enough information in public domain to put the Clintons away, but with crooked judges and everything, it's tough. And there's the Native Americans in Canada are huge.
In the U.S. Yeah, I did retweet a thing about this this attack on this Native American group in Canada that's being like attacked for their land, and it's insane. I had no idea that was going on.
All right, you guys pick a number between 1 and 10.
And are we giving away to 3 people?
Huh?
We're giving away to 3 people. The first 3.
I'll do one. You see what you want to do for yours. I want to number between 1 and 10. Go.
Oh, I'm terrible. I don't know how to do giveaways. Like I just do like my Patreon and their names and stuff.
Go to 1 and 10. 1 and 10.
Oh wait.
Chris, you got it.
Which Chris?
CMAS. He was first, say 8. and then Patty said it second, but Chris got it first.
Okay, so then am I sending one to Patty then?
No, one to Chris because he got it first.
I'm sending one to Chris?
Yeah, and then you do yours. So you want to give away yours.
Oh, now I'm doing mine separate. That was for you giving them away?
For one for me, and now you do your one. So we'll give away two. I'll do one, you do one.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I'm doing a number. Well, now I got to write down a number.
Do a letter. You can pick a song.
Oh my gosh.
Like a Beatles song you're thinking of, and then that'll take an hour.
No, I'll take
everyone will guess weird Beatles songs, and no one will guess your song.
No. I'll do a number because it'll take forever otherwise. Okay. So wait, I'm gonna start over. Let me do I'll do a break in I'll do a break in the chat. All right, LTC. Okay. So ready, set, number. Between between 1 and 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Montgomery knows what I would do if I should have done it higher. And of course, Public got it.
All right. Dude, Chris almost got it again. That was close.
So Public got my first one. I'll do it to the first three because so Public.
You know what? Give mine to Patty, not Chris. Give mine to Patty because I'm sending Chris some anyway.
Okay, so Chris.
Yeah. So don't give Chris this. Give.
How do I give Chris?
Public Awakening, and then Patty. They just send their addresses like on
TPA,
Twitter or whatever.
And Chris. How do I find Chris? Where I don't see somebody named Chris.
Don't give anyone to Chris.
Oh, nothing to Chris. Patty McMullen.
Because I was already sending Chris one of each.
Patty.
Yeah.
Patty, are you following me on Twitter? Because I don't think you're on Twitter. And then I need one more. Who's the next three after
what?
Public?
No, that's it. We give away two.
No, I said three.
Okay. Favorite Beatles
Then
song?
I have to do one more number then?
We could do number. Do a letter. Do a letter in the alphabet. Everybody go.
Oh, well then. Are you doing a letter?
I'll do a letter, yeah.
You better do it because everybody would know what letter.
Do a letter, go.
Yeah.
Letter between A and Z. Come on. Letter between A and Z. Oh, there's other letters.
That's good. A letter between A and Z.
Yeah.
Narrow it down.
It's funny too because remember we were talking about that medication earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're funny.
Yeah.
That would be the letter you would pick.
It totally is because it's on my mind, man.
Oh, Lord.
Oh yeah, Hodl Crypto, you got it.
Okay.
Hodl Crypto.
Hodl Crypto gets. Okay. Now, how do I get their address?
They can just hit you up on Twitter, Telegram.
TPA, I'm going to see in Peoria. Patty, you have to send me it. Okay. Patty's on Twitter, so send me a DM. And he says, I'm on Twitter, Lisa. So, or is this a girl? Maybe Patty's a girl. Is Patty a girl or a boy? It's a boy.
Patty with the D's could go either way. With the T's, that would be a girl. But with the D's.
Hodl Crypto got the P. And I know you got to go, so I'm going to keep
P too.
I'll keep it short. Hodl Crypto, you're on Twitter, I'm sure. So send me a DM, and I'll see you guys there. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate you. I will keep it short so we can let you go. We'll see you guys tomorrow. My buddy Public will be here with me, and I have some woo-woo and a movie for you guys to watch. Very interesting. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Take care, y'all. Bye.